We've just completed the first row of our low tension anchor row with a slim weft application. Now what we're going to do is move up. Notice how the angle of my parting is incorrect. I need to make sure that I straighten that out so it's nice and vertical. Making sure I have the coverage, and I do. It looks beautiful. Making sure I have that tension. I can't push that bead any more forward. I let that relax. So it's nice and comfortable, very low tension, and I lock this in place. I let the tip of the loop live where I want the bead to land. Let that relax and lock in place. It glides through much easier. You always want to remember that density dictates. So when you meet that resistance, that's always your cue to transition into the drop anchor from the traveling anchor. There's the recession of the hairline. So 2 fingers from this point. Puts us right here. Take a nice clean vertical section. And the difference is on this opposite side is you're sectioning from back to front versus the other, which you're sectioning front to back. The nice thing about working on this side is you can easily control your sections. The other thing about this side that changes is I'm clamping from the top versus the bottom because it's more ergonomic. I have more control. I can see my tail. I can see my section. I gently relax that and lock it in place. That's nice and vertical. Looks beautiful. See, now I have the ability by working back to front to really control that subsection. I can start to feel that drag that it's going to be on the next bead, too much hair to pull through. But if you meet a little bit of resistance, you can wiggle that bead and then use your finger for more control to guide that through versus pulling on it with the loop tool. Now I'm looking at the distance between these 2 beads. If I only were to apply 1 bead, my spacing may be too far apart. There's too much distance, and that would be too difficult to pull all of that hair through on either side. So what I'm going to do is just shorten up the distance here and make my beads a little bit closer together for more stability, especially as I approach that switch anchor at this offset side. See a little A little bit of those baby hairs buckling, so I'm just taking the time to smooth these out before I lock it in place. Let that relax. Lock it. Now I'm going to prepare for my switch anchor. I'm going to adjust this clip to get the end of it out of my way. Lifting up, making sure I have a lot of control. Angling my duckbill clip. Finding that center point. Creating my subsection, going to the bottom of the bead. Instead of doing half, I'm going to drop 2/3 and continue 1/3 over. Stabilizing that bead with my finger. Bringing the loop tool in through the opposite direction. Bringing the loop tool up. Hooking this onto my metal duckbill clip, bringing the tail section over. It allows me to be hands-free and not have to manage all of my tools. I can open this up, drop 2/3, create my subsection, lift the loop tool, bring that section of hair through, stabilize the bead as I gently glide that through, remove my metal duckbill clip, drop this down, and smooth, getting out all of those loops, smoothing in those baby hairs, any flyaways, making sure this looks nice and clean. Just maintaining that control. As you grab your pliers, again, going into at the face of the bead, getting a grip of that bead, and then rolling that bead, clamping from the top to close that bead. Picking that out with your thumb to clamp the bottom. Really gripping that firmly in place as this completely closes and anchors the row with that switch anchor.